We'll call the regular meeting of the Shelby County Election Commission for August the 20th, 2018 to order. The record reflect that all 5 commissioners are present, the administrator and our deputy are present, and the other managers are present. We've got 2 sets of lawyers that are present and a whole host of visitors, which we welcome and thank you all for coming. First item of business is the attorney's report. Mr. Blair, if you want to give us that, or are we holding on the attorney's report for executive session?
I don't. I think we might hold off and put the attorney's report in Mr. Ryder's office.
All right. So let's move to the next item. The next item is to certify August 2nd, 2018 election results. I believe over the weekend we were emailed all raft of data. In particular, the precinct by precinct reports as required by statute. Ms. Phillips, you want to take us through that, please?
Certainly. Okay. Over the weekend, you were emailed a draft of the auditor's report. You should have a final copy of the auditor's report in your folders, aside from correcting the spelling on one candidate's name. Thank you, Dee. There were no changes between the draft and the final. We completed reconciliation actually this morning. Okay, we completed reconciliation this morning. Our final was that there are 14 more names on the list of participating voters than actual votes cast. That's not uncommon. Typically there are occasions when people go and sign in and then fail to vote. So you only get worried if they're the other way around. There's more votes than people who signed in. You have the precinct by precinct results, the 2,000 pages that I emailed you. Y'all have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Commissioner Stamson? Nope. Commissioner Bowman? Commissioner Lester?
I don't have any questions regarding the information that was. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Hear you.
Okay, I don't have any questions regarding the information that was submitted, but I do have a concern, and because of that concern, I will not be voting to certify. I'm going to abstain, and I'm abstaining not because I suspect any malfeasance, but I do have a concern regarding people getting the right ballots, and this has been an ongoing concern, and we've not been able to address it or find it or whatever. And unfortunately, the voter has nothing to prove that what they're saying is correct, and we've had to rely on the information. But this time we had information that kind of halfway supported that people were getting the wrong ballots in certain areas, and it appeared to be in the split. And I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if it's human error. I don't know if it's the voting system. I don't know if it's the machine. I don't know, whatever it is. But I'm not willing to no longer just completely dismiss this issue. So, like I said, we've had it was validated this time by some very reputable people, and including some of the elected officials. And so I cannot certify. And I don't think what I saw or concern, I don't think that it necessarily will reflect or in fact affect the outcome of the election. I do want to go on record of saying that. And again, I want to emphasize that I don't suspect any malfeasance, but it is an issue for me, and because it is, I will not be voting to certify the election.
Commissioner Tate? I have a question.
Could we ask the AOE to address what Commissioner just said?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'd be happy to. All of the voters in Shelby County are assigned to the correct split. We know that because we have checked it via GIS. That's the most accurate way. Now, there can be issues because we have many, many precincts that have multiple splits. Some splits are unavoidable, but a lot of that was self-inflicted when re-precincting occurred in 2012. A split with 14 voters. For example, in Representative Hardaway's district, he represents 14 voters in a precinct of 4,000. Anybody else on the planet would have redrawn the precinct line. We didn't, and I don't know why. If I'm around in 2022 when we do this again, yes, we will do a much better job of drawing lines to minimize splits. The only way, though, a voter can get the wrong ballot, because the ballots themselves are correct for every split. I verified that, Joe verified it, is human error. And human error is most prevalent in the absentee by mail process. That's simply the most human-intensive part of the process. An election day voter is almost guaranteed to get the correct ballot, because that is not, that doesn't take human involvement. The machines program those voter access cards which bring up the correct ballot. And we know they bring up the correct ballot because the auditors reviewed them. So people who didn't think they got the right ballot on election day, probably they don't know exactly what districts they live in. And that's part of the big problem. Absentee, it's very, very easy because that requires human interaction to pull the correct and print the correct ballot. Is a much more difficult situation. With our new system, however, I'm hoping that we will be able to automate that to a much higher level so that it will eliminate human error or reduce it. So I feel confident that 99.9% of voters got the correct ballot.
Well, I know there was a discrepancy, and it was an absentee ballot that was corrected, but then the voter had the same issue on the machine, and even Councilwoman Patrice Robinson witnessed the same thing where a voter had the incorrect ballot. So, you know, I don't, and I'm really going to be pushing for legislators to allow people to take a picture of their ballot. I don't understand what's the big issue about taking a picture of your own ballot, but it's very hard when the voter is saying one thing and they don't have anything to prove that what they saw is actually what they saw, because they don't have anything to prove it. So I'm hoping, I mean, you understand with the new system, this is going to be better. I'm certainly hoping that it is, but it is a concern for me. I'm not really certain that every time somebody say that they got the wrong ballot, that they're not telling the truth or that they're not in the right district. I just, the comfort level is not there for me at this time, and so therefore, you know, I'm just going to maintain my position.
Okay.
Commissioner Knowles.
Okay. We tell voters, don't push that cast ballot button until everything you see that you voted for is correct. Commissioner Lester, are you saying they push the cast ballot vote? Did they push the cast ballot vote? You know what I mean? Before they said, hey, this is not right, did they ask for help? Did they say, this is not right, I'm not pushing this till it's right?
Well, there were some people who did cast the button before they brought it to anyone's attention. There were people who did bring it to attention of the elected officials, and it was corrected. But I think I see Councilwoman out there, Robinson, and I think that she knew what she was looking for. If she is willing to address what she saw, would you go up to the platform and do that, please? I mean, not that my position is changing, but I just want them to see that somebody else did see it.
Good evening. My name is Patrice Robinson. My address is 4881 Whitworth. My home precinct is 79-2. I would have thought, just like Ms. Linda just stated, that all our voters got the right ballot. And I have for years challenged our electorate on the fact that they just didn't know what districts they were in. Well, today I have to apologize to all of those people who brought that to my attention and I didn't take it seriously. I really thought they just didn't understand what districts they were in. But this time, a voter came out. She said, Councilwoman Robinson, I served with you on a committee when you were on the school board. I helped the members of my church to understand what districts they're in. We look at the candidates together and we create our own ballots. She said, I know for a fact that my ballot is incorrect. I asked her, did she cast her vote? She told me no. And she had the manager of the center, we were at Bethel Grove Elementary School with her. She said that she wanted to know what happened and why, and she was not going to cast her vote until her ballot was correct. So I asked her if she would just humor me a minute and allow me to look up online the districts that she was in. Well, that insulted her even more because she told me, I know where I am. Don't insult my intelligence. It got a little heated there. And I said, just calm down. Help me so that I can help you. Let's look it up. Let's see where you are. We went to my phone, we looked it up, and we looked at all of her districts. And I said, will you give me permission to go with you inside to watch you vote? She still had her card in her hand. We went to the voting machine. She put her card in. We had the manager of that location with us, and he observed as well. When her ballot came up, she is not, I think, in District 91. That was G.A. Hardaway. She knew that she wasn't, and on my phone I had the list of all the precincts, all the areas that she should have been in, so that she could see and we could see at the same time, so we knew it was wrong. We had the manager to call and the election commission. We were told that it had been corrected and she could vote. We tried it one more time and it was still incorrect. So we took our time and went back and we asked him to make another call, and this is the third time now. I actually saw the names change and the area change so that she could vote, and I walked her through the process to make sure that every area where she was voting matched what she had as her districts that she was in. My concern after just that one voter is that all of our constituents are not that conscientious. They would not take the time. They just tell you, you know, that name. This is what they said to me because I worked there all day. You know, that name didn't come up. That wasn't on my ballot. And I did not stop to check, and I should have. That's my fault, and I apologize. Please forgive me. I will never do that again. When people say something's wrong, where there's smoke, there's usually some fire. This lady made a believer out of me. So my concern, and I don't know what happened in any other precincts. I had one other person to call me at another precinct. However, but at this one, I was there. How many other people got the wrong ballot and didn't know it? And that's the question we need to try to find the answer to. I don't know what your goals are, if it's 95% accuracy, 99% or 100, but whatever it is, we need to check each ballot to make sure at least those people at Bethel Grove voted for the right people in the right race. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you for that. I'll be talking to you later. I'm going to need more detail. But again, I don't believe it's a widespread problem.
And I wanted to make sure I implied that I did not think it was widespread, but it is a concern for me. If I was a voter, I'd want to know that I'm getting the right ballot. And I think You know, I know it's not our intentions to disenfranchise voters, but I think that all voters need to know that we take it seriously. And if we've got a problem, particularly if we do our investigation and we don't find it, but then it's still happening, there is a problem somewhere, and we need to try to find out where it is. That's what I'm implying. And again, I'm restating, I do not feel there were any malfeasance, but it is a concern because I want every voter to feel confident in everything they've done.
One thing, I'm confused about the commissioner saying that the voter still had the card in her hand. How could that happen? If she put it in the machine, how did she get it back out to,
Well, if it times out, it'll come out.
before she can't push it?
Did anybody get the person's name of the election commission that they spoke to when they called in?
What's the question?
Did anybody get the person's name at the election commission, when they called in for help?
Yes, the constituent, she does have that information.
Okay, I just wondered.
Okay.
So I have cards from several people. I'm going to read out your names. It's unclear to me whether you want to speak on this topic or another topic. If you want to speak on this topic, just let me know. So one of those, it looks like DBK.
That's me.
Mr. DBK, do you want to speak on this topic or another topic?
I wanted to kind of speak on elections in general real quickly.
All right, this sounds like a good time. We've got 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll take it. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Let me find my notes. I appreciate you guys letting me come out here and talk. I think it's a part of...
Tell us your name and your address.
I'm sorry, my name's David Kay, 3602 Carnes Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. K.
Thank you. It's certainly a part of our First Amendment right, which is a huge part of being an American. I got a couple of quick questions to ask y'all, if you don't mind. If you just raise your hand and yes or no, raising hand yes, hand down no, I got one other statement to make. How many of y'all have ever heard of a computer?
We're not going to engage in that kind of dialogue. You can make whatever statement you'd like to make to us.
Okay, now I'll go ahead and ask the questions. You don't have to answer them. Have you ever heard of a computer? Have you ever heard that a computer can be hacked? The third question that y'all can answer is, do you believe that computer hacking is just fake news? My suggestion is that instead of spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on voting machines, that we go back to using a pen and a piece of paper, fold the paper, drop into a box, have it protected, videotape the process, and count it. And the only other thing I can say is I can't say for sure the ballot I got where I vote was correct, because a reputable person had given me a copy of people. He thought, I just asked him, I said, you're smarter than me, who should I vote for? And some of the people I didn't see on there. And then the money you save, one more quick thing, the money that we saved on buying 12 ink pens for $1 instead of millions of dollars on computers could be used to help the horrible homeless problem in our city. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak to the issue of certification? Mr. Gill?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dale Gill, 4315 Elton Ridge, 60-5, I believe, since I voted early.
Welcome.
Again, thank you. Listen, what I want to do is comment. I'll talk about a couple of items that, in effect, gets at the same issue. If we would simply, if I say we, being the Shelby County Election Commission, would I guess, go more about what the laws actually are, or find a way to do that, particularly with regards to poll watching and with regards to compliance with TCA 27136, you know, the one that says, upon being present, a candidate or a poll watcher can demand a certified signed certified copy of the results from each of the machines at the poll. That way, various organizations and individuals will know immediately on that night. It may take them a while to compile all of their tapes, but they would know that they've got the right information. Now, let me start with poll watchers. the statute of the poll watcher 27104, it says that a poll watcher is there. You know, when I walk in, sometimes they say, I'll get you to count in a minute. I said, that's okay, because I'm here to observe all of the activities being performed, complying with the statute, Title II. That's what it's for. The part I'm getting at is, and that's from the time that the officer of election opens the poll to the time that they close it. That's all of the activities, not some of the activities. And there are no activities that we are forbidden to look at. We have to stay out of the way and let them do their job. But that's something that I wish that we could get more of a spirit for handling. I came out to this location here doing early voting and was denied by the officer of election in here the opportunity to come in and observe all of the activities going on. And I had to point out to her, I said, well, that's all right. I took my badge off, put it in my pocket, so I'm now a voter, and I'm trying my best to determine who I'm going to vote for, and I'll just be here for a while, because I'm one of 6 people allowed in a polling place. That's what the other law, 27103 says, okay? So I'm saying these are the kinds of commitments to a transparent, pure, fair election that we need to be committed to. The other thing is, with regards to getting that tape, I actually have some tapes with me right now that I've gotten in previous elections. I've been out here before when we do early voting. Early voting should not ever be compiled at the same time that you're doing absentee and military and whatever else. That's a counting process that goes on in the morning, because the statute says that the polling results are not to be open until after the election. So that means you can't do it before 7 at night.
You're at your 3 minutes.
Well, I'd like to ask you to extend me a minute and a half. I clocked my wonderful city councilwoman at 5 minutes. Mr. Chairman, you be so kind.
You're not in the city council.
Well, Mr. Chairman, now see, that's what I'm talking about, Mr. Chairman. I'm talking about fairness. I'm a voter, Mr. Chairman. I get 1 vote just like my councilwoman does.
I didn't cut you off. I just asked you to wrap it up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your kindness. Again, those were 2 things that I'd like to ask that you guys be doubly committed to 27136, because that certificate of results that you all have is nothing but the sheet showing what the odometer count is on each of the machines. The actual results that the statute called for are on the tapes that you all attach and send in with that report. So I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, let's start doing what the law calls for. And I don't think in this day and age of Trump that we're going to be changing 27136. I pray not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your time and your board's listening.
Thank you.
Mr. Gill, I know that you and I have tangled on this issue before, but the coordinator of elections, who is responsible for interpreting election law in Genesee, feels that we can begin processing early voting as soon as the polls open at 7 a.m. You're welcome to argue with him about it, but I'm tired of it.
I'm sure Mr. Ryder will find that will be a court issue.
The other person's name that I have is unclear as to what they want to speak on is Michael Cody. Mr. Cody here.
Yes, sir. I'm Michael Cody. I live at 9228 Longwood Lane in Germantown.
Do you want to speak on the certification issue or one of the others?
Just kind of general.
Okay. Please continue.
This is my first time at the meeting, and I'm happy that a lot of people have turned out, and I'm happy that a lot of people have stated their mind, and I'm just, I think we all have a lot of questions about where the commission is going, and that worries me. There's a lot of doubt about how we tally our vote, and how we elect officials, and how we do voting places. And it's 1 person, 1 vote. And I would appreciate it if y'all would take consideration that every vote counts, and wherever they're taken, wherever they're counted, we just like it to be fair. And I appreciate your time, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. So one thing, there's a little bit of theme. Keep in mind here that we're a group of people, the election commission, made up of Republicans and Democrats. I have my 2 Democratic colleagues to my right and my 2 Republican colleagues to my left. And we're all interested in making sure that every vote that's cast in Shelby County is counted. that everybody gets the appropriate ballot. So there shouldn't be any question about that fact. Now, I'm glad that all of y'all are
We can't
here.
hear back here.
I'm sorry. I'm glad that all of y'all are here, and I don't mind if you're concerned about that. I think as a citizen, that's a valid concern, but I want to assure you that everyone on the commission, everyone that's on the staff, all the managers, they want to make sure that everybody gets the correct ballot in Shelby County, and every vote that's cast in Shelby County is counted. That's why we're here. That's the mission of this election commission, and it will continue to be the mission of this election commission long after all of us that are sitting up here are gone. So, all right. So I've got one more person, and that's Elaine Irwin. But Ms. Irwin, it seems like you want to talk more about early voting sites. Is that correct? Or do you want to talk about certification? Did you?
Like so.
How about,
There's your cuts.
Ms. Irwin, did you want to talk about certification, or did you want to talk about the early voting location?
Early voting locations. You want me to come later?
I'll call you back.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. And then help me with
Somebody lives on Dogwood Valley.
Sanjay Mamula, I'm on 7A, the early voting sites. Thank you.
that. All right, so all right. Thank all of those who made comments for your comments. Now, what I need is a motion to certify the August 2nd, 2018 election results.
So moved.
Second.
Been a motion made and seconded to certify the August 2nd, 2018 election results in accordance with the statements of vote cast in the auditor's report. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of certifying the August 2nd, 2018 election results signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Got one abstain. You and I. All right. The August 2nd, 2018 election results are certified. Next item of business is the certification of the municipal candidates for the November election. We've been given a big sheet.
Yes, you have the list in front of you of all of the candidates who are eligible for certification. All of the candidates had sufficient signatures and all filed timely. The alderman, mayor, and school board candidates for the city of Bartlett, alderman and school board candidates for Collierville, alderman, mayor, and school board candidates for Germantown, commissioner, mayor, and school board for Lakewood, and the alderman and school board for Millington. You want me to go through the names, or do you just want to read the list?
So they have everything they need that we require to run. Okay. I don't have any problem.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Can we certify these as a group or as
Speak into the microphone, please.
We've got a motion made to certify the municipal and independent candidates for the November election. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to certify the municipal candidates for the November election. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The municipal candidates are certified. Next item of business is the campaign sign policy for 980 Nixon. You want to take us through that, Ms. Phillips?
Yes. Since 980 Nixon is an early voting site on occasion, we need to establish a location where signs can and cannot be placed. During the last election, I and several other of my staff members nearly got killed by oncoming vehicles because the signs were placed in such a way that you can't see what's coming down Nixon Road. So attached to the policy, which I think is a kind of an aerial map showing the red zone, which is approximately 12 feet from the pavement back towards the building on both sides of the entrance where signs can't be placed. And the policy states 2711B1, signs can't be closer than 100 feet. The stakes or tape will mark the 100-foot boundary, and that no sign may be placed closer than 12 feet to the edge of the pavement on Nixon Drive. No signs can be placed on the paved area. We don't have enough parking as it is, so the signs people that put on like stands, those can't be placed on our pavement. And we will mark that area with either paint on the ground, and we'll put up caution tape, so it should be very obvious to people where they can and cannot place signs, and we will mail a copy of this policy to each candidate.
The red lines here,
Right,
that's where they should not be.
that's right. That's a no sign zone.
So now where would they put them? Because that's right on the edge. If they put them
Well, I can put them closer to the parking, closer to the
like
building.
the inside.
Yeah, closer to the building.
Okay.
And that gives us adequate, I sent Van out, and he checked the sight line as far as 12 feet does give us a good view up and down the road.
They could park on this side of the driveway, the other driveway in the field, you mean?
Yeah, they can put them on the field, or they can put them on that way, so a piece